Hey everybody, if you've just joined us, this is Gideon Shalwick here from Vubli, also founder of Splash Show. I am delighted to have you here. It's been a while since I've had one of these free live workshops, I guess. I guess more of an announcement slash show and tell than a workshop, although there will be some pretty interesting stuff that I'll be showing you today. Main thing is going to be to help you get better at distributing your short form video content out to the world. Now, we're about a minute off from getting started, so while we're getting in there, please make sure you say hi in the comments. If you think there's one other person who might enjoy watching this as well or could learn from this, please share this to them. The topic is around how to grow your brand using short form video. And we're going to be showing you how to use our Vubli tool to help you do that really, really easily using the help of AI. So we've just hit the hour. So we're actually going to get started right away. So if you do have any comments, I hope I can see them here. Let me just get that going to make sure that I can respond to comments if they do come up. I might have to do it to help you do that with YouTube itself. All right, there we go. So if you do have comments, learn better, love better. Hi from New Orleans. I hope I said that right. Never quite know how to say it properly. Anyway, please say hi in the comments and do share this with anybody else that you think might benefit from it. All right, without further ado, let's jump into it. I'm really excited to be sharing really awesome things with you today. So I've got a little bit of a presentation to share with you. Okay, let's do this. Welcome everybody. My name is Gideon Shalwick. I'm the founder of Vubli, amazing software that helps you post your short form videos to all the major platforms really, really quickly and without any fuss. Today I want to talk about how to actually post everywhere your short form video contents that actually get the views. That's the most important thing. I've got a few slides here that I'd like to share with you. So first of all, let's be honest. Let's just be honest right from the start. A lot of people publish a lot of content and they think that might be the problem, but you don't actually have a content problem. What you actually have is a traction problem. And I've been through this myself and I'll go through that in a bit more detail. So you might have this as well. Some of your videos are good, but they still don't go anywhere. And I'm sure you've had this experience. Let me know in the comments. You spend all this time creating an amazing piece of content, whether it's short form or long form, doesn't actually matter. You post it and then it's just like crickets and you don't know why. So you get low reach, you get low engagement and no momentum. And that's one of the most frustrating things for creators out there. And I know that myself. I've been a creator for around 20 years now. And so I know the pain of doing that. I've had to restart many, many times over from zero. And so I felt that pain over and over again. So I know what it feels like, but I also know what it feels like to get to success. And I know the steps to get there. So yeah, it's frustrating as heck, but because you should be doing better. And you look at other people out there and they're getting all these views and you compare your content to theirs and you think, why are they doing so well? And you're not. You know what's missing. So what's actually going wrong is this. You record or you create your video and then you have to, this is now short form video in particular, you have to rewrite the captions for each platform. And when I say captions in this context, I mean the text that you post along with your video. It's not the subtitles in your video. That's another thing. But the captions are actually really important that goes along with your video. People actually read them. Not only just that, but the search engines also pick up on them. So they're really important. And a lot of people don't even just bother doing them. But anyway, hashtags is something that's also really important, more important these days than normal tags. So we'll talk about that in a bit as well today. And then once you got your video, then you got to go ahead and upload it to multiple different platforms. And you know the drill. You upload it to YouTube and go, okay, now I've got to create the captions for that, or title and description and hashtags. And you go, okay, now I've got to do this for TikTok. Okay, and go through that process again and upload to TikTok separately. And then you got to go to Instagram and then upload separately to Instagram and then write the captions and stuff separately again. And it's mega frustrating. And that's just like 3 platforms. What if you want to go to Facebook Reels? What if you want to go to LinkedIn? What if you want to go to X as well, etc.? So this bogs a lot of people down. So yeah, it takes a long time. So what happens is it gets delayed, or even worse, you end up skipping those platforms altogether. I see it so often that people go just one platform and then they miss out on all this amazing opportunity to get a lot more views. And I'm going to show you a case study of a brand new, well, almost brand new channel that, not channel, but brand that we set up, where we got over 200,000 views in just a few months, like I think 3 or 4 months, maybe 4 months or so. I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, 200,000 doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot if it's brand new. If it's brand new and you're a business, that can make a big, big difference. So I'm going to show you that case study a little bit later, so stay tuned. So the result is, if you're not posting, consistently, or if it's a pain in the neck, it means you're less consistent. And the platforms want to see you being consistent. They want you to post more often and more regularly. I'm not sure if raise your hand or leave a comment in the chat if you've ever been on a good run where you've posted content and you get some nice views, and then you stop for a week, and then you try and get back into it again, and now your views have dropped. You're like normally you'd get like maybe a few hundred or a few thousand views, and then you have the break, and then there's a drop, and you go, what the heck's going on? The platforms love that consistency, so it's really important for you to keep on going and to make that process just as easy as possible. Also, what it means is if you're posting less, you're going to be getting less reach. That's just like a natural consequence if you're not posting. But also, if you're not posting to more than one platform, you're also going to get a lot less reach. Now, we love talking about the hero platform kind of approach, where we say still focus on one platform. My hero platform is YouTube, but then still post everywhere else as well, especially if it doesn't take any extra effort. Why not? But make one of them your focus. So like we do, we love YouTube. YouTube's like the 800-pound gorilla, but then we don't stop there. We use our tool Vubli to post to all the other platforms as well. And it gives us a ton more reach. And you'll see some surprises in a second. There's some really cool strategies you can apply on the different platforms to help you get a lot more views. So what also happens is you sometimes have good videos and then they underperform. And I know you've experienced that if you've been in the game for a while. You know how soul draining that is. You create all this great content and then nobody sees it. So the game has changed. It's no longer just about creating content and posting content. It's about how fast you can post, how fast you can publish, like creating that content and then getting it out there, boom, 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 every day, especially with short form. And it's about how well you package. Now, one of those things is the captions, the text that goes with it. And like I said, a lot of people do a terrible job with this. I'm going to show you how to get rid of that, or how to make that just so much easier and so much better in a blink of the eye. The other thing is thumbnails. We're not going to talk about thumbnails today because with short form video, I don't think it's really caught on just yet. But watch that space. I might have another presentation for that in the near future. And the other thing is how native it feels. Now, each of the platforms are different. Like, for example, the way that people consume your content on YouTube is different to the way they consume it on Instagram. So, for example, Instagram, everybody reads your captions. On YouTube, they might only read your title. And on LinkedIn, maybe you want a more professional touch than on YouTube. And so they're all a little bit different. So if you use the same content for all the platforms, it's not going to work as well. So that's something really important that a lot of people miss. They just copy and paste the same thing over and over. And even if you're using something like ChatGPT and you don't do it separately for each platform, it's going to get you suboptimal results. So the creators winning right now that we're seeing is they're not just better creators, they have better systems in place. And I've definitely found that if you're going to be posting every day with short form video, you need a good system in place. Otherwise, it's just going to fall over. You're just not going to succeed. You're going to have too many things on your plate, and you need a nice, easy system to help you solve that bottleneck. So the system, Vubli, that I'll be sharing with you today, is basically where you turn one video into all the platform-ready content. So you upload your video once, Vubli takes care of, transcribes it, I'll show you that in a second, transcribes it, creates all the captions, and then you press one button and it posts it everywhere. You can also schedule it, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. It's really cool. So it basically adapts the messaging for each platform automatically. And you can set that. You can, if you want to, in the first example I'll show you, that if you want to, you can have the same message for each platform. If you want to do that, sometimes there's a good reason for it. But sometimes you might want to have a separate, unique one for each platform. I'll show you how to do that. So it allows you to publish your videos, your short form videos everywhere in just minutes. Or once it's uploaded, it's one click. Once it's uploaded and processed, it's one click and boom, it goes out to all different places. It's so fun when you start doing it. And now the main thing that I think people really care about is a brand new feature or an updated feature of an older version that we had of it, which is where Vubli generates your captions for you that actually sound like you, but we've improved it significantly. So if you're an existing Vubli user, you might have seen our AI thing, and it was probably like crazy complex. We've simplified it now and made it a lot more useful. So it allows you to use custom prompts. So just like you can do in ChatGPT or Claude or whatever, you can use your own custom prompts for creating your captions, okay? And you can save those. And then the other thing that I haven't seen anybody else do is it allows you to add your own context files. Now, I just saw, what's his name? Tiago Forte, the second brain guy. He posted about this just yesterday on X, about how it's not so much about getting the prompts right. It's about creating the context around your prompts that allows you to get the best out of AI. And a lot of people get this wrong. A lot of people ignore the context. So we've built this into Vubli now, where you can upload your own context files. That gives you way better results. And I'm going to show you the contrast between using context and not using context. So that's coming up. So of course, with platforms specific variations, I'm going to show you how to do that specifically for YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, all those different platforms. You can set it so it's uniquely different for each one, but you can also choose to have it the same if you want to. And it's not generic AI. Honestly, you'll see the example I'll show you. You can train it on your own voice so that when the captions get written, it looks and sounds like you wrote it, but just better and faster. And you can do that with our new captions settings tool. So without further ado, let's jump into it, shall we? Okay, let me just get my screen set up here. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is an example. So this is the quick product loop, I suppose, where I just want to show you how quickly it is to get your video up there, how quickly it processes. Now keep in mind, this is all getting done live. So hopefully the internet's good, hopefully the servers are good, but fingers crossed everything goes well. Last night when I tested it, one of the videos only took like 8 seconds to process. I was like, it's faster than I even expected myself. And I've been using, I'm the founder. So but let's hope it's as good as that today or something similar. So the first one, let's share my screen here. All right, there we go. So this is the Vubli interface. Let me just get this little, you can't see this little screen here, but I've got an extra little screen on my screen. Let me just get that out of the way so it doesn't bother us. Okay, so this is the Vubli interface, and this is called the dashboard. On the left here, you'll see this is where all the videos are that I've already posted. We're going to do a brand new one today. And this here is the calendar, and this allows you to schedule your content. You can click and drag things in and schedule your content in advance, like weeks, months in advance if you want to, if you're organized. And this just saves you so much time. I've been using it for Vubli, and it allows me to schedule in 2 or 3 posts a day. I normally just do it a week in advance. It's we're not organized enough to do more than that, but that just saves us so much time. And it's just like on autopilot, boom, boom, boom. It gets all the content done. Anyway, that's what it looks like. There's a bit of you can click on here as well, up here, to give you a difference between a calendar view and list view. So if you click on that, you'll see that's the list view right there. And that's the list view. And this just gives you a bit more information to show you where it's posted. And you can actually click on these different dots here to go to the actual platforms to show you where your video has been posted. If you go to the calendar view, we're just going to stick on that because we're going to be using that for today. So let me show you the product loop now. I'm going to upload a video. I'm going to get it processed all in real time. This is running live right now. It's not a pre-recording, streaming live. It's an actual live event. So fingers crossed, everything goes smoothly. So here we go. going to hit the upload button up here. Okay. And this will take us to the upload page. Now, I love using Dropbox. We've got all these integrations that you can use. For me, I love using Dropbox. That's where all our files are. And I've got some live event examples here. We'll do this first one. I'm going to hit next. So what will happen now is that video will upload from Vubli to Dropbox. And so the reason I love using Dropbox like that, or Google Drive, is it goes between the Dropbox and our server, bypasses my slow internet here in Australia, and it just makes it really fast. So if you've got large files, definitely use one of those integrations. All right, let me just quickly check my caption settings here. So we're going to go for, and I'll dig into this in a bit more detail, but as you can see here, this is set to a single prompt, so it'll create the same result for each platform. You can choose multiple prompts as well. I'll show you that in a second. And in terms of context, I'm just going to leave those. Actually, let's take them out because I want to show you the contrast between them. All right, so I've turned the context files off. We've got a single prompt. This is just what comes out of the box. Let's see what it does. All right, so those are the settings. Let's hit next. So what will happen next is the video will now go to the brains of Vubli. The video will get transcribed. The AI will start processing it. And you can see when you see the little dots here, that's what's happening right now. It's getting transcribed. AI will start working on the, the transcript, the captions, the hashtags. And as you can see, it's done already. It's like it's done all that stuff in this moment that I've just been speaking to, and I haven't changed the screen. There's no cuts here. That's how quick it was. It's all done. The only thing that's not done here is the video processing. So we process it into a web-friendly version, so it's easy to stream, on the interface here, and we get it into all the right formats, so it streams easy on all devices. But so that's still processing, but everything else is done. So if you want to, you can already go. The video is already on a server, so you can actually post this already while this is the video is processing here, because this is just for display purposes. The actual video is ready to post. So let's take a look here at what got created. So you'll see here for YouTube. So all YouTube, Instagram. Let me just zoom in a bit here. So there's TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, and X. Now in this case, you'll see the captions are the same for all of them. Okay, and that's because I set it that way. I'm going to show in a second how to automatically create unique ones for each platform as well. And sometimes there are use cases where you want to keep it the same, definitely. And in fact, we use it for one of our projects where it does make sense to have that. Okay, so there you see the video's just been processed, so that's ready now too. But everything else was ready super quick. Now let's take a look at this. Caption that got created here for this one's for YouTube. So for YouTube, it breaks it up into a title and a description, because that's what YouTube requires. But you can see here, we're just going to read through this, and then I want to show you the contrast with when I turn on my context files, because that's really cool. But basically, this, if I want to, this is ready. I can hit the post now button now, and that'll post it out to those 6 platforms. I mean, you saw how long it took. I uploaded the video. Let me just get my face on here. So I uploaded the video. It automatically got transcribed. The captions, hashtags, everything got created. And then I just have to review it and then hit post or schedule and done. So you can do it by the looks of it for that particular video. I could probably do all of that in under a minute if I wanted to. So it's really, really quick. And when you've got this fine-tuned with the AI, it means you probably don't have to do that third step where you check everything. Like, it becomes so good that you just trust it and you go, wow, okay, this is great. I'm just going to hit post. I still check it every now and then, but because of the new tool we've built with the caption settings, you can fine tune it so well with your prompts and your context that it does such a good job. It is really, really amazing. It's actually mind blowing. Right. So let's have a look at what got created here. So you'll see here, I'll zoom in a bit. So this video is basically about, just give me some context here. This video is like a 1 minute long video, 1 minute, 17 seconds. And it's about me with a new way to develop habits, sort of a productivity kind of video. So let's see what it did. So title, the missing piece in most habit plans, 2 incentives, 1 for the outcome, 1 to make the process actually fun, steal the setup before you start. Okay, so not too bad. Okay, but there's no personalization here. There's nothing unique about it. And, you know, it's kind of bland. Now let's see if I go and change our caption settings to, and I might just open up the dashboard here again so we can come back to it easily. Okay, so it's currently on single. So I'm just going to change this to multiple prompt now. So with multiple prompt or multi-prompt, you can see there's unique prompts for each of these. There's one for YouTube, there's one for Instagram, there's one for Facebook, you know, so you can do, you know, many different things here, up to you. So I'm just going to add, actually, let's keep it on. Actually, I can't, just let me check something here. This one is slightly longer, so I'm just going to go choose the multi one. And I'm going to turn the context files on. So I've got a call to action here that I want to use. And I want to add some emojis, and I also want to add my own voice. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how I set these up so that you can do something similar. But honestly, the world's your oyster here. You can add any context files you want here. It's so cool. So now I've added my own voice. So this is basically a description of the way that I speak. Let's just zoom in a bit here so you can see. So the way that I speak, I've added the ability for it just automatically to add emojis. And I've said, hey, add a call to action at the end. Okay, so let's see what it does now. So if I open up this file again that we just uploaded, and let's zoom in a bit so we can see this in action in real time. And if I go refresh, fingers crossed, it will work. There we go. So you'll see this is now different. So now it's done three things. It's added my own voice to it. It's added some emojis just for fun so you can see the difference. And third, it's also added a call to action that I want to have on all the different platforms. So you'll see here now, it says, this tiny box fixed my habits. See how it's already more personalized? It's not just like a general statement, it's like my habits. So here's like, so I stole Seinfeld's don't break the chain thing. But the part that surprised me is what I added next. I call it incentives, outcome and process, because future me will be happy. It's nice, but it doesn't get me to start today. When the process is fun, it just works. And once the cue plus routine plus reward clicks, boom, ready to go. And then here's the call to action that's just got added. Now, this was all done through my the prompts that I set and in the context files that I added. And you can see here how different that is to the first result. I mean, my mind is still blown with how amazingly successful it can do this sort of stuff. I just want to look at my notes here. Yeah, so let me see if there's anything in the comments here. Let me have a quick look to see if there's any comments, questions that I've got so far. If you've got any questions so far, pop it in there. If I do spot it, I'll see if I can answer it right away, or towards the end of the call, I'll make sure that I go through that as well. Okay, amazing. I don't see any specific questions right now, but I know there's a delay. So yeah, make sure you pop something in there if you do have any specific questions. All right, so next up, I want to show you, what shall I show you next? The next thing I wanted to show you is I wanted to just show you that personalization. So let's take a look at these ones. So I'm going to zoom in a bit so we can see this in a bit more clarity. So what I did here is you can add your own context files. Like I said, you hit the plus button and it opens up a little sidebar here. You give it a name and you write your context in it. Very similar to what you might do in ChatGPT or Claude. When you give it more context, like a text file, to explain what your thing is about, or whatever context you might have. And these are kind of like, the way you can look at them is like they're additional prompts, so additional things that you want the AI to do for you. And so you can add that in here and save them. So, and you'll see how that works in the next example. I'll show you how that works really well if you're going to be doing different kinds of videos, every time. So you just select the different context every time. So for example, here, my CTA that I added was simply, always add the following call to action. Let me just zoom in a bit at the end, but before any hashtags. Remember to add a paragraph break after the call to action. So that's exactly what it did, right? So it added the call to action and it added the paragraph break before the tags as well. How cool is that? So it did exactly what I asked it to do. So that's a CTA context file that I added. And if I wanted to change that, I could just click in here and say, instead of this being the call to action, let's say something like, you know, go to gideonshalwick.com for more details. Now, look how quick this is. If I close this now, it'll autosave. And if I now hit refresh here, let's see how quickly it redoes the thing. So it's basically, boom, there it is. Go to gideonshalwick.com for more details. So it's as easy as that, you know, for you to make changes. So that was the CTA one. A lot of people like using, you know, different call to actions, and that's the cool thing when you're using different platforms. You can have a different call to action prompt in your prompts. So if I just show you here, so in the prompts area, if you're using multi-prompts, you can add that in here. You can, for example, say at the end here, you know, add this call to action for YouTube, or for Instagram, add this call to action, or whatever, you know, so you can do it individually, uniquely for each platform. Because like I said, it's the different platforms are different. Like here's a really clear example. Look at all of these ones is instructed. The default is instructed to add hashtags to the video, to the captions, except for X. X is different. Elon has said many times, and Nikita Breyer or whatever, the product manager guy, that they hate hashtags in the posts. So what we've done here is we've actually just removed that. Do not use any hashtags. So while each one of them is unique, like for X, you know, it's not getting any hashtags. So if you look at if you look at the results here, if I go here now, and because it's on multi-prompt now, you'll see if I hit refresh, fingers crossed, it shouldn't, yeah. So it kept the call to action, but there's no hashtag. You know, how cool is that? So you can totally do whatever you want here with these things. Okay, so that was the multi-prompt. Let's quickly go. So that was CTA, adding a CTA, call to action. I've just added the emoji one here for fun, just so you can actually see it. I don't normally really use emojis, but I just wanted to show you because that's nice and visual. I just said basically, you know, add some appropriate emojis, you know, and then do them at the start of the sentence because I don't want to have them at the end, you know, whatever. So it's up to you what you want to do there. Maybe you can say only add smiley face emojis ever, you know. So it's completely up to you what you want to do here. Okay, so, and then this one is, I think, probably the most important one. This is where I've added a context file for my voice. And so what you see here is actually a description of how I speak. And the way that I did this, the way that I created this instruction file here, or this context file, so you can see things like voice and tone. There's some things there. There's how it should feel. There's a bunch of things there. There's like language patterns and to mimic, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I say boom a lot, you know, or, you know, it just works. Good enough, you know, like it's analyzed. Here's the content emphasis. The way I created this, what I did was I took an hour-long podcast where it was a solo podcast of just me, just like this, a recording. And then I took the transcript of that podcast. I just grabbed it from YouTube. Literally went to YouTube. Actually, I'll show you how I did that. Let me see. If I go to YouTube, I'll show you how like you can do this totally yourself. Like if you've got the video on YouTube already. So let's go to YouTube and go to Gideon Shalwick. Let's go to my channel. There we go. There's the live right now. It's happening right now. So I went and it was one of my podcasts. You'll see here, not this one. It was my first one I think I took. This was just a solo podcast. It's my very first video podcast in the first time in a long time. And so I just recorded that. That was like I don't know, about a year, 11 months ago, almost a year ago. Anyway, in YouTube, you can actually get the transcript. You can, if you click on the description area and you scroll down a bit, and there should be an area here. Yeah, there it is, transcript. If you show transcript, and then on the right, you'll see the transcript. And then you can just go ahead and copy all of that. So I like select the start and I scroll all the way down and hold in Shift and select everything. And now I can copy that. Boom, copy. And what I then do is I take that transcript into ChatGPT. You might use Claude or another LLM, whatever your choice of service is. But then I say to ChatGPT, hey, ChatGPT, I've got this transcript of myself. Can you please analyze it and create a context file that will summarize my voice so that I can use it for creating captions for my short form videos. And then boom, the transcript, and then hit go, and then boom, it created this content that you see here. Just like that. So this was like a one shot thing. I didn't even edit this. It was just like perfect, So that's in there. You got up to 2,000 characters here to add. So that's a decent amount. So you can see that's almost 2,000 this bit here. So that's enough here to create some really nice context. And you can do up to 3 at the same time. You can add as many context files as you want, but you can only have 3 selected at the same time. And there are reasons for that I can go into if you've got a question about that. But just by adding, if I turn off emojis, for example, and even turn off the CTA, if I don't care about CTAs, if I just put in my voice context, that's going to make the biggest difference. It's going to make a massive difference between just generic AI sounding, slop sounding kind of captions, and captions sound like they were written by me. So if you think about it, combine that context, my voice. So this file here with the prompt that I've used here, so you can see the prompts here. And by the way, you can copy this. Like I say, there's a default one, but you can come in here and say you didn't quite like it. You can duplicate it. And now there's the copy, and you can rename this and say, Gideon's multi-prompts. Boom. And then come in here and edit them yourself. You can 100%. So it preloads with our settings, our defaults, but you can come in here and, edit them to your heart's content. Maybe you want, instead of 400 characters, you actually want 600 characters, or maybe you only want 300 characters, depending on, what you want. So you can totally do that. So when you combine your prompt that you can massage to show anything you want in the captions, and you combine that with your voice context file and let's say a CTA or whatever else you want, the results you get are incredible. It is so good. Okay. So I just want to see if there's any more questions right now before we move on. Okay. All right, I don't see any other questions right now. So fantastic. We'll move on to the next one, which is the case study, which I'm really excited about. So a while back, November last year, I started a new podcast for Vubli. I wanted to start interviewing some of the world's top people in the short form video industry. And I wanted to find out what makes them successful, what makes a short form video successful. How do you make a short form video go viral? And how do you, how do you select your topics? How do you figure out your formats, the structure? How do you just get more views? How do you get traction on it? And it's been super interesting. So I've been doing those. The first season was once a week for 12 weeks. And then I had about a 2-week break. And then I've just restarted them up again. So we're on about episode 2 of season 2 at the moment. And then what we did, we clipped those longer form videos into short form videos, and then post the short form videos to all the different platforms. Now, let me just cue this up to show you some of the results we've been getting. So I'm going to show you the results, and then I'll show you the setup that I've got. So here are the results. So I'm just sharing this freely with you guys. So this is since November 29 to today. So there's the date. So it's about December, January, February, March. So it's about 4 months. Okay, these are the views we've been getting. Now, if we just posted to YouTube, we would have had about 60,000 views, which is not bad, for a podcast and for the shorts from a podcast. That's all we've done. It's okay, especially for a new channel and it's more of a niche business channel. It's not like a mainstream viral kind of topic area. 60,000 it's not too bad. It's not too bad. And I'm going to show you there's some really cool things happening or starting to happen now as well for the YouTube channel and for Instagram, those two in particular. But if we just stopped there, we would have had only like 60,000. Now look what happened here. We also posted on Instagram. This one had over 95,000 views in the same period. 95,000 views. So those are just want to make a point here. 95,000 views that we would have missed out on if we didn't post there as well. And extra effort, zero. Zero extra effort to post to Instagram as well. So if this doesn't blow your mind already, it's like, I'm not sure what will. But and if this doesn't convince you already that you should be posting to other platforms, I'm not sure what will. Now, in the past, I would say only focus on one platform. Don't distract yourself and spread yourself thin. But the difference now is that if it doesn't take you any extra effort, if it doesn't spread your efforts thinner, why not? Why not post to all the other different platforms? Focus on your hero platform. I guess it's YouTube. Maybe yours is TikTok. Maybe it's Instagram. Focus on that as your hero. That's where you spend most of your time and comments and getting back to people, etc. But then post everywhere else as well. You might as well. It's like, look at this, 95,000 extra views for this one. I was blown away. Okay, so that is Instagram. And this is the one for Facebook. Facebook's a little bit slower for us, only about 3,000. But hey, it's still 3,000. Better than nothing. It's going up a little bit here. TikTok was okay. We had about 30,000 views for that one. So again, that's 30,000 views that we wouldn't have had if we didn't post to TikTok. And again, it's a click of a button. It's honestly like upload once to Vubli and it distributes it everywhere. We don't have to upload it separately. Like I'm still flabbergasted to look at all the platforms where they make it so hard to upload your videos. You have to upload from your device. And it's like, really, in Australia, we've got really slow upload speeds for our internet. And with Vubli, we allow you to go through Dropbox or Google Drive, and you just do it once. So if you do it manually, natively to each platform, you got to go natively or from your device to YouTube, from your device to Instagram, from your device to Facebook, from your device to TikTok, etc. It's just like, ain't nobody got time for that, So anyway, that was what was that, TikTok. Now LinkedIn is next, so we've been posting there as well. Not amazing results, about 2,200 sort of impressions there. It's similar to views on there. It's okay, but keep in mind for this one, we've posted to our company page. It's not a personal profile that we posted here. If it was on my personal profile, we would have had a lot more views. But it's just raw to the company one. I said, let's just see what happens, So boom, it's an experiment. And then this one is for X. So this is the Vubli X one, X channel. So it's not my personal one. Again, for the personal one, it would have been more. But here we had about 11,000, almost 12,000 views, or they call them impressions here. Okay. So if you add all those up, that's about 200,000 views or impressions. It's more like views because some of the LinkedIn and X call them impressions, but they're really views if you compare them to the other platforms. Way more impressions on YouTube. I think YouTube had, I'm not sure if it shows impressions here, but if you look at some of the other stats, the impressions are way bigger. But anyway, there's about 200,000 views we've had from our videos just from cross-posting. From our podcast that goes on the channel, on YouTube, and we go to Facebook as well. But then cross-posting the short-form videos from those podcasts to 6 platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, X, all in one go. Now, I'm showing you this because I don't want to brag, but, and again, it's like, compared to some of the bigger channels out there, this is nothing. It's like, it's not, there's no bragging rights here, really. But I wanted to show you this case study because it's something we've done ourselves. We eat our own dog food. And I'm thinking, hey, 200,000 views is better than a kick in the pants. I wouldn't say no to that. Sure, it's taken some effort, to create the content, but the posting side of it's been taken care of by Vubli. So let me show you the setup we've got here for this, because if you want to do this as well, I think this can work really well. So this is now the dashboard again, but this time it's for Vubli. It's for our Vubli dashboard. The other one was for my personal one. So you can see here's all the content. You can see if I go to the month view, you can see we've been a lot more busy. So there was like a 2 or 3 week break we had. But the last 2 weeks, last week we had Roberto Blake posting about every day here. And then Jake Thomas was last week. This coming week, we're going to have Liz. Liz, just forgotten her surname for a second there, but she's going to be coming up this, Liz Germain, sorry if you're listening, Liz, but this is going to be coming up this week. Her interview was just off the charts, if you do want to follow along. But anyway, this is what it looks like for us. If I go back a month, you'll see it was just as busy, posting every day, sometimes 3 times a day. And there's just absolutely no way we could have done this without Vubli. No way. We would have just gone to YouTube. That's it. You know, we wouldn't have had time for anything else. So now with Vubli, same sort of thing. You know, we upload the videos and we get great results. So the settings we have here, if I could share that with you, is I've got my own, let me zoom in a little bit here. I've got my own single prompt. So for Vubli, I like using single prompts. And you can see here, this is what it looks like. It's I've gone a little bit longer for our ones, so 500 characters, because I just like it a little bit longer to give us a bit more, you know, space to explain what the video is about. So we've gone for single prompts for this, and the reason for that is just because I'm lazy. Really, that's the only reason. I'm a little bit lazy, and I just want to see what happens. So that's the prompt that we're using. And then in terms of context, I've got my own voice file again here. So that's the same one that I showed you how I created it for my other videos, my other channel. Same thing. I took the transcript from a YouTube video of my own voice it's like an hour-long video or whatever, sent it off to GPT, got these back, copied and pasted it into here. That's my voice. Boom. So that's what it uses. That's one of them. The other ones, okay, these two are quite interesting. So this one here, this is now where context becomes really, really powerful. Now, this latest series that I had was with Jake Thomas. Now, I wanted the AI to know that the short clips that I'm posting are from a longer interview that I did with Jake. And I wanted to give it some context. So I actually summarized the whole interview into less than 2,000 words or characters and popped it in here. So now the AI knows that the clip that I'm uploading to Vubli is from a longer video. And so it gives it that context for what the whole interview was about. And that's often what many, many other services get wrong. They don't allow you to have all this context in there. So you might get something, like imagine just giving ChatGPT a 30-second script of your video and then asking it, you know, 30-second script from an hour-long video, and then asking ChatGPT to create a nice caption for you for that. It's like, it's going to do a terrible job. And that's exactly what happens. That's why you get so much slop out there, because you don't have this context that comes into it. So this is what makes the difference. This is what makes the difference. So there's the context file for the interview. And then I also have some general context here, which is just to tell the AI, hey, this is actually from an interview between me and Jake. And it's mostly Jake speaking. So just assume the content is from Jake. But when you write the content, write it as if it's from me, Gideon, reporting on what Jake said. You know, so it just gives it that extra little bit of context and instruction. You can read that here. You can copy this if you want to, if you're doing this sort of stuff as well. But just by using those 3 context files, the results we're getting from that is just incredible. And it's just getting better and better. As the models improve, it just automatically gets better and better. All right, so that's all I got. That's Vubli. And there's a few examples there to show you how we use it for ourselves. And you know, we're getting some pretty amazing case studies coming through. There's actually some really cool stuff that I wanted to share with you in terms of YouTube and how to get more views with collaborations, and with Instagram with collaborations as well. In fact, let me just quickly touch on that before I tell you the last thing that I want to share with you. If you go to the stats here for Instagram, now you might see there's a bit of a spike here for, you know, was it February 3rd, I think, around about 4th, February 11. There's a bit of a spike here. Now, what happened here is, if I go back to my dashboard, what happened is a lovely young lady who I interviewed. Let's go to February. Actually show you, this is really cool. It was Jordana, February 10, around about here. So it was one of these videos, or a few of them. She actually did for a few of them. What we did, we built in, I wonder if it was already here back then. It's not letting me scroll, but you might just be able to see it if I go, yeah, there we go. Now, I don't think we had this feature available back then, so I just did it manually, but now you can actually type in the name or the handle of the collaborator on Instagram, and it'll automatically invite the person on Instagram to become a collaborator. So what happened with Jordana is that we invited her to be a collaborator for us on Instagram. So she shared all our snippets with their audience as well. She's got a huge audience, and boom, that's why I'm getting this. So there's a few little blips there of other people sharing as well. Roberto Black shared a couple last week, but her one was really, like all of a sudden massive views, and you can do the same on YouTube as well. In fact, for YouTube, we had this one here, this one from Daniel Batal. He shared it as a collaboration as well, and that interview, the hour-long interview, has now had over 3,000 views. I mean, that's incredible. That's just crazy. Anyway, so there's some really cool stuff you can do here once you get into it. Maybe I'll have another session on that in terms of how to do that, how to set up your own video podcast. If you're interested, let me know. But before we go, I have something very special that I'd like to offer to you. So let me get my slides back up here. So what we're doing, something very special today. So to help us announce the new release of our new captions feature with AI stuff, we'd like to make a very special offer. And it's only going to be available till this Friday. So very, very limited time. So you're watching now, this is hot off the press. First of all, we'd like to offer you 50% off our yearly plan. So when you go to Vubli, there's two plans, monthly and yearly. If you join us today with the yearly plan, we'll give you 50% off every year. So it's like a forever kind of discount. It's not just for the first year, it's for the following year. So as long as you stay a subscriber, you'll get that discount. The code you can use, write this down, is half price yearly. That's one word. Half price yearly. I'll show you how to use that in a second. And to activate it or to use it, just go to vubli.ai. That's vubli.ai. And I'll go there in a second to show you. So go to vubli.ai, go to the the pricing page or the offer, and I'll show you in a second. And then go through the process. And then on the checkout page, use half price yearly to get that 50% off. And this is the lowest price we've ever offered. We've never offered it this low for this long. Okay. It's only available limited time, like I said, this Friday. It expires and that code won't work anymore. So if you want to get that 50% off, now is your opportunity. So even if you're on a monthly right now, I think on Vubli, that should work for you. If you're going to upgrade to a yearly, if you struggle with that, just send us an email. We'll help you figure that out. So yeah, if you're serious about getting traction, this is your next step. Go ahead and sign up. I want to do a lot more live sessions like this where we give you a bit more insights on how we're using Vubli to grow our business and to grow our viewership. So it's a lot more cool stuff coming up like this. I really enjoy these. It takes a lot of time and effort to prepare for them. And, it's like almost 10 o'clock in the morning here. I had to rush this morning to get ready, but finally got there in the end. It's the first time I've done a live event like this for ages. So it's been really, really good. But let me quickly show you how to get that offer locked in. So if we go to this one here. So go to vubli.ai. So VUBLAI. So there's the spelling there. VUBLI.ai. Sorry if I said it wrong. And you'll see that's the homepage. You got Pat Flynn there saying this is a game changer. You can see a bit of our feature set there. There's Pat again giving us a bit more of a fuller testimonial there. Pat's been great. He's been really supportive. And any questions you might have. Now, if you want to take advantage of this offer, just zoom in a bit here. Just hit the try for free button. That'll open up our pricing page. We've got a very simple, we've got just one plan there. There's a monthly one at $49 a month. The yearly one is normally $39 a month. However, if you use our coupon code, if you go through the process, you click on this button, you've got to enter your name and email, blah, blah, blah. You'll get to the checkout page. It'll look something like this. Then just type in half price yearly in the coupon area here. And you'll see normally it's $468 US a year. That's the yearly plan. And if I hit apply, half price yearly. Why is this not valid? Half price yearly. Gosh, that's a bit embarrassing. Let me just try that again. It's all caps, half price yearly. There we go. Okay. So it just applied a 50% discount. So instead of $468 a year, you pay only $234 a year. So that's half price yearly. Just pop that into the coupon area when you join. Easy peasy. All right, so if this is for you, if you want to grab this offer, go for it right now. Like I said, it's only available till this Friday. Make sure you take advantage of that. If you've got any questions at all, now is your time to ask on the live session. I'll keep an eye on the live questions here. If there is anything, I'm not seeing any questions right now, but if there are any questions, I'm more than happy to stay on for a few minutes and answer any particular questions that you have. So I've got some comments here from IDK, WTF, yay, Vubli. Thank you for that. Vanessa saying hi. Lynn Better Love Better says hi from Orleans. Okay, I've said that already. Tony Portal from Indianapolis. Fantastic. Joshua Vandenbroek, great to see you. Great to see you too, Joshua. Yeah, so I'm not seeing any comments coming through right now. Actually, I've got a comment here from Lynn Better Love Better. My YouTube view vary from 1 view to 1,000. So I'm not sure if that's a comment or a question. I think it's Brittany, if I'm right. Yeah, so let's tackle that. Yeah, so there's quite a bit of, yeah, it's Brittany. Okay, great. So there's quite a bit of variability there with views. And it depends on quite a few factors. It depends on when you upload. It depends on if you're there when you're uploading. It depends on your actual content quality. It depends on your consistency. There are just so many factors when it comes to getting views for your videos. And I've learned so much from these interviews that I've been doing over season 1 and now season 2 as well of our podcast. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to that yet, you can go to vubli.ai. And let's quickly show you this before I keep answering this. If you go to vubli.ai and then look for the newsletter option here at the top, if you click on that, you can sign up for the newsletter there for free. So it says vubli.ai/newsletter. You can sign up for free there and you'll get access to the podcast as soon as they come out, and a bit of extra insights as well with each newsletter. So it's really cool. But yeah, if you... the thing is with, in those podcasts, the reason I'm showing you is it'll give you a lot of these answers. So you'll notice that sometimes you get 1 view, sometimes you get a few hundred, sometimes you get a few thousand. Sometimes it just pops off and you just get like 10,000 views, 100,000 views or whatever. I remember there's one time that I did this with my personal brand. This was last Christmas. I was about to give up because I was just getting a few hundred views. And then I posted a video, I think it was the day after Christmas last year, like a year ago. And I thought, it's my last try. That video got like, I haven't checked for a while now, I must admit, but last time I checked, I think it was over 100,000 views, and maybe it's a lot more now. But that video just like went crazy, for my channel. That was a lot of views. So you just never quite know. You never quite know. And that was posted with Vubli. So I think you just got to keep on going. The key thing that I've realized with these interviews is that it really comes down to your content and the topic area that you're creating that content in. That's really important. So your total addressable market is important. So if you're going after a really tiny niche, it's going to be, your audience is going to be smaller. If you're going after bigger niches, you're going to get more views. And of course, with that goes without saying that you've got to create content that your audience actually want. And be entertaining, be educational, like give people the value that they're looking for, answer the questions that they have. And I think it's actually one of the key things we have left with AI. It's just to be you, and these live events like this, it's me. This is not a clone or AI or whatever. Maybe in the future it might be. Hopefully not. Hopefully we can keep the human touch. But I think it really comes down to knowing that topic in an area where there's lots of people interested in that topic, and then creating good content consistently, like posting every day. Boom, boom, boom. Don't miss a day. And just keep on trying, keep on learning, And the other key thing that I learned from these interviews is the format, the structure that you use for these videos is really important as well. You look at Pat Flynn, for example. He's Short Pocket Monster. It's always the same format. It always starts with him like, should I open it or should I keep it sealed? With a little jingle. And then he looks at the cards, he opens it, and he goes through them until the last one. And then he's like, oh, you should have kept it sealed. Or, oh, yeah, you opened it. Great stuff. So it's always the same format. And once he found that format, it took off. He just kept the format. He kept producing the content in that exact same format. Daniel Batal is another example where he's creating tutorial videos for DaVinci Resolve. And his one's even more uncanny. He's got the exact same intro, not the same format, but the exact same intro clip that he uses at the start of all his short form videos. So it's like, hey, it's Daniel. Today is my tutorial on DaVinci Resolve. I can't remember exactly what it says, but it's exactly the same thing every single time. And he has that at the front of every single video. And he noticed that particular format worked really well for him. So he kept that. That was really, really interesting. But anyway, these are all the insights you can get when you also join our newsletter and check out our podcast. All right, let me take a look to see if there's any other questions here. All right, we've got a question here from Scale with Marty. Hey, Marty, nice presentation. Thank you. Your presentation video is impressive. What software do you use to present? So I'm using, excuse me, I'm using a few bits of technology here. Maybe one day I'll have a full-on video that goes through all of this, because I actually use this for my video podcast as well. It is the best setup I've ever had, and it's relatively complex. Like, I've got a nice camera, I've got a teleprompter, I've got a good mic, I've got 2 lights here, there's another light there, there's a light back here, I've got a nice sort of background, so I've got like nice lights here. And in fact, the second interview we did on our podcast was with Simone Ferretti. He helped me set up this look and feel of this studio. So it was really cool. But that's the studio side. In terms of software, I'm using Ecamm Live to stream this straight to YouTube, and possibly X at the same time as well. I didn't check that, but I did tell it to stream to X. So hopefully it's doing that properly as well. And then, so Ecamm Live is the actual software that I'm using for streaming it, and that allows me to switch between things. I've got this little device here called Elgato Stream Deck, and that allows me to switch between my slides and the screen and my face. It does a really fantastic job. And the other software, what else am I using? Oh yeah, my presentation software is called Deck Set. So you can buy it from the App Store, the Apple App Store. It's kind of like you use Markdown. Is it Markdown or Markup? Not HTML. It's the simpler version for essentially writing the code of your presentation. It works so well. It saves me so much time. So you basically create the theme for your and the design for your thing, and then you just create the content, and it just always works. You don't have to mess around with fiddling with what it looks like. Once you've got the design in place, it just applies it to all your slides, and it just works really well. I've been using it for years. Anyway, that's the main thing that I'm using. Okay, another question from Scale with Marty says, Vubli looks great. And let's get this slide up here if you're interested in the offer. So Vubli looks great and very efficient. Do you have an affiliate program to share with other business owners? Yes, we do have an affiliate program, Marty. If you go to affiliates.vubli.ai, that'll get you to our affiliate program. You can sign up for free. Let me actually quickly go there now. Show you. So if you go to affiliates.vubli.ai, it'll take you to a little sign up page like this. And that'll allow you to create your account, and you can start promoting right away. It gives you a link, and you just use that link when you promote. And I think it gives you 20% commissions for the first 12 months. Boom. So that's pretty generous for software, if my understanding is right. Yeah, so go ahead and sign up for that. Thank you for your support. Awesome. Right, let's see if there's any other questions here. Another one from Brittany. She says, thanks. You're welcome, Brittany. Great to have you. And she also says she's never taken her Stream Deck out of the box. No worries, Brittany. I've done that too with technology. Do you need it? I love it. I love using this little thing, and I've been using it for years. This is actually an older version. It allows me to turn my lights on and off. I can stream my music through this. I love it. But anyway. All right, guys. I'm not seeing any other comments or questions there. I want to say thank you very much for being here with me today and allowing me your time to listen to what I've got to say and to talk about Vubli. If you're serious about using short form to grow your audience, think about that example we did with Vubli. It's a brand new brand that we started with. We started from scratch pretty much. Like we had some existing content on there, but it was really dead. And we said, let's do this podcast. Let's start publishing short form content using Vubli on there. And you saw what happened, like 50,000 views later, or 200,000 views in total later. And we're just getting started. We're 4 months into it. We'll probably give another update every quarter or every 6 months or so to see how that goes. But, for building a brand and for building exposure and getting more reach, I haven't seen anything better. Now, I've been doing this stuff for 20 years. And so if you're interested in joining Vubli, we've got a 50% off the yearly plan right now. If you use the coupon code HALFPRICEYEARLY, just go to vubli.ai, go through the process, go to the pricing page. There's actually a 7-day free trial before that, if you just want to try it out. So you don't have to commit right away. It's a 7-day free trial. But then, make sure you enter in the half price yearly coupon code on the checkout page and you'll get 50% off for the yearly price. And it's the lowest price ever, only available till this Friday. So make sure you join before this Friday. Otherwise, you'll miss out because that coupon code will expire. And we're going to have it till Pacific Standard Time, midnight, Friday. So if you're, just check that out depending on where you are in the world. So Pacific Standard Time, that's normally what we do. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. And I wish you all the best. And please do send us any messages at support@vubli.ai if you've got any other questions. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.